the action as former champions, the Melbourne Phoenix, take on the Adelaide Ravens. Hello, I'm Anne Sargent, and it's great to have your company on ABC Sport for this round one clash. The State Netball Centre in Melbourne playing host as we kick off the Commonwealth Bank Trophy for 2002. Well, we start the season with a match that may well be reproduced come semi-final time. In the short history of the competition, the Phoenix have always been somewhere near the top. But this season, with a healthy influx of quality players, expectations are also high for the Ravens. It's never easy predicting the outcome of a round one match. Form is often hidden on the training court. This one's no exception. Safe to say that the Phoenix may not have things all their own way. Joining me in commentary for this match is former Australian player Shelley O'Donnell. Shell, what do you think? Can the Ravens make a contest of it?
Absolutely, Anne. You can never underestimate any team in this competition, particularly a team from South Australia. I think they need to apply full court defensive pressure to restrict the supply to Southby and McMahon. I think if they can limit them to 50 goals, they've got a real chance. Ravens' lineup has been boosted by the return of Venice and Browning. It'll be a real battle in the mid-court. However, I would expect Phoenix to have the upper hand in this clash.
Thanks, Shell. We look forward to a great match. I did ask both coaches where they thought their respective firepower lay going into round one, and this is what they had to say. Lisa, where do you see the firepower in your lineup for round one?
Look, I think obviously our attack end is one of the best in Australia. That's been proven, and I guess we're going to exploit that as well. But we'll be looking at a really strong full-court defence this year and working hard on our transition defence. So hopefully it'll all come together with a good win tonight.
I think our strengths lay with our defence unit as a whole. Most of the girls are fairly experienced. Whilst we don't have any Australian representatives, they have got a lot of years of National League experience behind them. It's a very strong unit, all five of them, not just the ones that will be getting a start with the depth there. And that carries on through the whole court, I believe.
Ravens get us underway. Danny Grant doing the honours for Adelaide. First match season 2002, and quickly the Ravens have hit the circle. And their rookie Mandy Edwards making her debut in the Commonwealth Bank Trophy. Her first match. Unable to convert, the Phoenix now in possession in the purple strip. Very familiar shooting circle for them. Umpires for this match, Michelle Fippard and Kate Wright. And Shelley, early days, but both teams are a little rusty.
That's right, Anne. I think both teams will be looking at getting a good start, obviously. It's nice to get a win on the board first up. It'll be a little bit erratic, I would imagine, at the start, but hopefully it'll tidy up a little bit as we get along.
And Mandy Edwards puts herself on the board. The Ravens with one. Nice story from this youngster. She's been plucked out of South Australia's State League just this week from the squad, from the broader squad. Wasn't in contention, but apparently her form at State League for the Jaguars couldn't be denied. So here she is, round one, National League, doing the honours for Adelaide.
Where you are, goal is half.
McMahon goes to the post. She finds net, so it's one apiece. Gardner, Tump finds Heinrich.
Goalkeeper, Castle shot.
Chatfield will be stood out of play.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed with Tump. I think she's a player of the future. She, played pretty well last season.
Phoenix worked the ball outside the circle. Fiona Doran, who's in the late 90s, reached the levels of Australian under-21s. Now back in the Phoenix line, as Phoenix put their second on the board. It's goal for goal, early days. Grant provides experience and drive through the middle. High ball to Heinrich, but she keeps it alive. Edwards hunting around the edge. Good space close to the post. So both teams prepared to work the ball to ease their shooters into the contest.
Certainly patience is a key, and particularly in the first game of the season, trying to find the timing, trying to find... Doesn't matter about practice matches or anything like that. Once you hit the actual game, when you're talking about 4 points for a win, things change.
And both teams made a point of pre-season work being done in the gym. Chocolate Meany under pressure, 3 sets of arms over her, but she gets the pass away. Southby out of the circle, and the drive comes from McMahon. Beautiful work to the post by the Phoenix goal attack. And the Melbourne crowd applaud their home side.
And that just looked a little bit too easy. There was so much space there to be driven, and like I've mentioned, and we mentioned over and over again with these two, they've got such understanding between each other that you just can't afford to give them that much space.
And not long since they've been on court for Australia against England, March 15, the last match in that series. They were quite a lethal shooting combination. Australia, of course, taking that match. Good stretch from McMahon, showing off her athleticism. Steadies to clear Poole off the shot. Does it all within the 3 seconds. The lead back to 3. Southby sitting at 57%. I know it's only early days, but that's not a figure we're used to seeing against her name. She was actually second most accurate in the competition last year at about 81, 82%, I think, just behind Joe Morgan.
Yeah, both Sherelle and Ella have career stats of in the the low 80s, and so they're very accurate. So, like you said, to see something like that at the start of the game, but it is early days, so I'm sure we would expect her to pick up from that.
In fact, Shelley, you spoke in the opening of the Ravens' need to restrict the Phoenix. In fact, if it is the reverse and Phoenix get away, we could have some records broken. McMahon needs 31 goals going into this match. He needed 31 goals to hit a 2,200 career goal total, which is pretty impressive. And Southby needs 33 to hit 1,900. So some milestones to be met in goals, but they'll have to put the foot down to do it.
And they're so young, so they're going to be around for years, so I'm sure there'll be many more records broken as the years go on.
Don't sound too sad. You told me you were thinking of getting sweaty again yourself.
Oh, I've gone back to State League, but I think that's about it at this stage.
Hang on, who's going to keep me company if we're out there treading the boards? Okay, the Ravens in attack. The drive again from Grant. Meany puts a bit on it. She's out of play for the contact. Ravens reorganise. Heinrich had the front move, but decides to drop it back on the baseline. Probably work it a little longer than they had to, but they go to the post now. A bit of backspin hauls it in for Kristen Heinrich.
Heinrich opened the backspace really nicely then, and Liz Taverner was sucked in to go forward.
The shooting for both sides fairly well shared. Heinrich has put up 3. Edwards has put up 7 and converted just the 4. And in the Phoenix mob, 7 for Southby and 6 attempts for McMahon. So a nice sharing of the workload for both teams. 9-8 the Phoenix lead, just under 5 remaining until the break. It's open at the post and it's just a matter of patience. Doran waiting to clear the defender.
Yeah, that was a great balk there by Doran. It's really important to use your balks, particularly at a level like this, to suck the defender into going for it too early.
A bit of speed on early from both teams. All part of the hype getting their first match under their belt. I'm sure both outfits will feel a lot better when they have round 1 behind them. Nice ground feed into McMahon. So the Phoenix feed is exploring some options in getting the ball to their shooters. Nice versatility in the feed.
And I think on that throw-in, the Ravens set up a bit of a press in the midcourt, it looked like, and but Phoenix had no trouble getting it through there.
A breaking call, and that's perhaps legacy of some of the new rules that our viewers will become more familiar with in the weeks to come. A new rule book out. Rules have become simplified, and some of the wording changed. So look for your new rule books at local level, and we'll try and point them out as we go, one of which is the speed at which the centre will be taken. It's now the player's responsibility to hurry the centre back. It's not the umpire's concern to set them, and if they're not back directly or their players aren't in appropriate areas, they will have a penalty against them. That, of course, speeding up the game. The Ravens stay within 1 of former champions Phoenix. Boniello, again, good feeding position from Doran as she finds her goal attack. McMahon goes to the post.
Doran's very quick off the mark. I did play with Fiona in the Kestrels for a year, and she looks like she's got really good timing happening at the moment, which is great to see.
And that more direct from the Ravens, and that would be the case, because I was about to say to you, in general in this first quarter, the Phoenix have been more direct to the circle. The Ravens have needed to work it a little harder.
Yes, they have, but, you know, they have been patient, but then it has caused a few, you know, forced a few turnovers when you do pass it around, so...
Phoenix 13 lead the Ravens 11. Ball to Edwards, thwarted by Chatfield.
Yep.
Crowd enjoying this opening contest.
Advantage outside centre.
A feast of netball to follow. Promises of the biggest and best season yet. Of course, not only is the title on the line, but positions in the Australian team as we look to Commonwealth Games. 13-12, the Ravens trail by just one, less than 2 remaining until the first break. Southby to Doran. Southby puts up her 6th of the match.
Contact, wing defence.
Tump to Grant. Meany's put out a play for contact. Oh, good work from Chatfield, one of the tallest on court, but she gets down well for the bounce. Didn't really lift off the floorboards as they'd hoped, but great work from Bianca Chatfield.
That's it.
Gardner to Tump. Heinrich drives the base. They play it around the outside. Edwards works a hold on the front position. Doesn't drop. Chatfield strong on the rebound. The Phoenix with a chance to put it down court. Just seconds remaining. And there is a move of foot we should note to bring the timekeeping into the electronic age. So expect in some matches to see our umpires wired and buzzed. And that one in time for the Phoenix. They take the lead to 3, 15-12 with the centre to follow. They'll be greedy, they'll want to make another one out of it, but a footwork call goes against McMahon. And now the Ravens with seconds enough to convert. Good pressure from McMahon, slows them down. Doran, Southby, looks to connect with McMahon. It looked beyond her reach, but she hauls it in. The penalty will give her time. And she makes good with less than 10 seconds on the clock. The Ravens now with their centre taken will want to use it. They should go straight to the circle. Edwards with a nice roll. Gets her shot in. So both teams able to score well and quickly. And that was the electronic buzzer that signals time. And the umpires react to it. And as we go to the first break, Melbourne Phoenix 16 lead the Ravens 13. And Shelley, what did you make of that first quarter contest?
Well, it was pretty even, Anne, and I think that, you know, Phoenix only really pulled away to that 3-goal lead at the end there. McMahon's shooting beautifully at 91% at the moment, and, you know, perhaps they could tidy up on a few of their turnovers, but I think that, you know, that will come. Yeah, as I said, the turnovers, there's probably a few too many there, particularly from the attacking end, but, you know, the shooting from McMahon's is standout.
As you say, they just want to get points on the board at the moment. It's the Phoenix that enjoy a narrow lead. They lead the Ravens 16-13. Ravens have possession at the start of the second quarter. They trail the Melbourne Phoenix by 3. Phoenix lead 16-13. And the scoreline pretty well reflecting possession. Phoenix had 20 attempts at goal in that first quarter. The Ravens 17. Nothing much in the shooting statistics. Meany looking for McMahon, who keeps it alive, but Tucker, ever watchful, had a lot of time to come out on that one.
Ravens, just here.
Yeah, perhaps Doran should have made a lead towards the ball there. Sherelle was obviously on 1 foot, a little bit unbalanced, and obviously, you know, the goalkeepers love to come out and take those speckies.
Screen comes from Heinrich, but she gets called for a contact. Phoenix in possession. Drive comes from Chocolate through the midcourt. McMahon on the base, over the top to Southby. Good pressure from Tucker.
This side.
But the Phoenix will keep possession with the throw-in. McMahon holds it up just to have a look at who's going to react. It's a bit of a chess game on a throw-in, isn't it? It's a matter of watching who makes which move and how you'll adjust.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, your first option is to your other shooter, but both Dora and Amini were positioned well at the top there, so it could have gone to there as well, where it went in the end.
I always find it interesting because everybody pretty well knows what everybody else is going to do. It comes down to the timing and the execution for the difference. Gardner takes the penalty. Use of shoulder. You can very clear visual signals coming now from the umpires, and you'll notice that with more frequency, so that it's a truly international game. The signals should be recognised country to country, so the players have plenty of cues as to what the penalty regards. Quick play in from throw-in.
Well, I think, sorry, Anne, I think they need to be clear, particularly with the other rule change, whereby the penalty, the person taking the penalty needs to wait for the player to be out of play, and so they need to know where the penalty is, and they need, definite direction from the umpire.
Yeah, a big move to have more player responsibility on court, isn't there, to set the pace of the game and to respond quickly to instructions. And of course, yes, the implied penalty if you don't, we turn it over.
Yeah.
Okay, go defense, parcel shot.
The visual signals are so important, so that it's truly international, and also crowd noise. In fairness to the players on court, they need to be able to see quickly and identify what the ruling is.
Obstruction goal attack.
Obstruction call then puts Heinrich out of play. Southby looking to her fellow shooter, and the quick double play between Doran and McMahon. It buckets in, and Phoenix take it to 5. Threatening time now for the Ravens. They must stay in touch because the Phoenix have come out of the blocks for this second quarter looking to open up the margin. Heinrich continues a perfect stat, 6 from 6. So she's pretty tidy when she has possession. Edwards has taken more attempts than her, but Heinrich lethal when she has it. That's a beautiful ball into Southby. And the crowd applauds their Melbourne side. Southby, the co-captain, one of the co-captains of this Phoenix mob. And Liz Boniello, the other. Penalty being reset, Poole to take it. Grant. Heinrich working the baseline. They swing it over to Edwards. She puts the split on. And a bit of backspin brings it back in. Mandy Edwards on 10 from 16, 63%. McMahon, Southby. Lovely angles worked in the Phoenix forward line.
Good hold there by Doran as well, just holding up the release of the ball, waiting for Sherelle to be there.
The Ravens finished 6th in 2001, Melbourne Phoenix 3rd, and the risk of sounding obvious, both would be keen to push that up a little. I know the Ravens' target will definitely be the 4, and the Phoenix would believe that at their best they have the potential to take it out.
Yeah, and they do have the players there. I mean, just looking at that drive by McMahon, the beautiful ball in from Southby.
I was chatting to Liz today about the name change, and we're having a joke about it. It's always better when you're trialling for national teams to have a surname at the top of the alphabet, because it saves a lot of stress waiting to get to the end. And she said she'd quite aspire to have her name called out before Broadbent now. Of course, Alison Broadbent has moved from Alison Williams to Broadbent, so they both can identify with the struggle of surnames starting down the bottom of the list.
I was about mid-range, so it wasn't too bad, but you certainly were aware of who was in the positions and what they started with anyway.
I was coaching a junior team, and one of the girls had calculated how many names needed to be called or needed to be left in contention around her surname. Now I figure that's pretty desperate. Good on her. McMahon in possession, looks to Southby. And Tucker turns the hip and is now out of play.
Back where you were. That's it. Yes.
Meany.
Traction centre.
Now step forward. Oh, and it's through the hands of Southby. I think eyes were probably to the next move into the shot and just relaxed a little on the take.
Yeah, it was a good attempt there by Paul to at least put a bit of pressure on it, and maybe it even went past her fingers, which is always hard to catch on the way past.
Paul seems to be favouring the left knee. Injury was called a moment ago for that, and she's just a little tentative on it, so we'll keep checking that. She drives down court now. Tump working the far side of the court. Hydra keeps it alive with a little bit of juggling. And they draw a holding call from Boniello.
That's fine.
I should apologise now to Liz because I know Tavern is going to leave my lips at some stage during this call, so I might as well put it on the table, do you think?
I think so.
Jackie Blythe, of course, in charge of the Ravens side. Confident that with Venice and Browning in their lineup this season that they can push through the top four. Interesting they're not on court to start.
Yeah, just a bit of a surprise. Once again, we don't know what's happening over there in the lead up to this game, but I'm sure we'll see them later on in the match.
Of course, both Venice and Browning have served time in the Phoenix team, and, you know, I have a flippant theory about that maybe Adelaide sends them over, sucks out the information, and eventually brings them back in, do you think?
Well, I wouldn't put it past South Australians.
I knew I'd draw you in.
anything.
I knew, just rope in that Melbourne girl. She's in there. I'm sure it's not the case, but it's a good line for a chat. Heinrich keeps it alive.
Oh, sorry, it'll be good for those two to come on, and like obviously if they've trained and worked with Phoenix, they should have a few pointers for the Ravens going out there against them.
Certainly makes life interesting. The players are quite mobile nowadays in netball at this level, popping up in teams from one state to another. Certainly Browning's moved around.
That was a lovely pass there by Tump. She placed it really nicely inside for Mandy Edwards.
And Meany just having a bit to say. They've let the lead shrink to 2, having established a nice margin early in the second quarter. Less than 7 minutes until half-time, and they can't squeeze that one out. So the Ravens won't relinquish this game. They're going to fight it through. And Heinrich still at 100%, 8 from 8. Gardner, Heinrich. Grant tries to work around Chocolate, who's putting in the pressure, holding up the move, not allowing her easy access to the circle. Edwards nets. So the Phoenix have nudged it out, running into half-time. 4 minutes 45 until the break. 26 they lead the Ravens, 22. Chocolate. Tump puts hands over. Doran in the corner. Baseline move comes from McMahon. Southby trying to get herself into rebounding position, but she's held out by Tucker and kept alive nicely by Sally Browning. But wasted. Very soft option almost to the Ravens bench. And now the contact will give Phoenix the penalty shot or pass. No prizes for which way McMahon will go. It's the shot. The lead now 5. Grant to Gardner. Checks the circle. Heinrich wants to connect with Edwards, but she can't free herself from Boniello.
That's a goal tap.
It's a nice set play there by Ravens. Clogging up one side of the court and then bringing it out through the other really opened up that side of the court for Mandy Edwards to come out for that.
That's Heinrich's first miss of the match. So 3.5 minutes from half-time. She blots the copybook, but a great performance today. Contest from Tump. We're in the game show. Ball's on the bench.
I got a stat.
I don't know that you actually took it.
Yeah, but they don't know
things
that.
You can't see.
I leapt out of my chair and I took it with 2 hands and I flung it behind my back and...
Oh, and the clashes are almost as good on court. Sally Browning.
Oh, not quite, but then no one will ever know, will they?
Sally Browning meets Meany, meets Gardner.
Meets
End of the story. End of story. Ravens in possession. Browning holds it up. So important for those mid-court players to sense the timing whether it should be pushed through quickly or held up.
That's fine, goal attack.
Throw in to be taken by Heinrich.
Contact in defence.
Grant will take the
Where you
penalty.
are,
Chocolate out of play. Just looking at the penalties, pretty even. 23 against the Phoenix, 24 against the Ravens. So nothing in that stat.
Instruction, advantage goal.
Advantage goal. The difference is 4, 27. The Phoenix lead the Ravens 23.
Contact centre. That's it.
Use of shoulder indicated by Kate Wright. Beautiful balance. McMahon, whether in the air or on the ground, such a stable player.
Yeah, she's a fantastic player, and I just used to love playing with her. I was so fortunate enough to still been playing with Sherelle, even if it only was for a couple of years. She made some of my bad passes look like good passes, so yeah, she's a pretty awesome player.
Less than 2 minutes until half-time. The lead is 5. The Phoenix control the game. Meany finds McMahon. Nice cut to the top of the circle. She swings it to the corner. The screen comes from Southby and it opens up McMahon. So Phoenix work it nicely. They've drawn the penalty against Browning. McMahon will finish. And she takes it to 6. So the Phoenix sniffing around for a 30-goal scoreline coming into half-time. Quick hands. Little touch from McMahon onto Southby. Obstruction clears Tucker off the ball. And that's 30. The Phoenix find that total with seconds remaining. Tump. Edwards, nice timing from the rookie. She offloads to Heinrich, but now she'll take the penalty. And that one falls nicely. Ravens trail by 6. McMahon opens the arm up. Nice release from Southby. McMahon rolling off the top to clear some space for Southby. Contact inside the circle, but it's from the wing defence, so she's out of play and just stands on the edge of the circle. That penalty, of course, taken inside the circle. Otherwise, it disadvantages the attacking team. 31 Phoenix lead, Ravens 24. And that is half-time. Mandy Edwards denied the shot. 7 the difference, so the Phoenix doing some work in the closing minutes of that second quarter. Melbourne Phoenix 31, Adelaide Ravens 24.
It's really not too much in the stats between these two sides, and I mean, Phoenix have just had a few more attempts. They have had 8 intercepts to 2 to the Ravens, and main contributors being Chatfield and a couple of handy pickups by McMahon. So that's probably the main difference, which is keeping them 7 goals, giving them a handy lead.
So at half-time, the Melbourne Phoenix 31 lead the Adelaide Ravens 24. Melbourne Phoenix get us underway for this third quarter, and wholesale changes for the Phoenix. Southby has gone to the bench. She's replaced by Andrea Booth. Wendy Jacobson is on at wing attack. Ingrid Dick has moved to centre, and Peter Jerson to wing defence. So 4 positional changes for the Melbourne Phoenix. Lisa Alexander pretty comfortable, Shelley, in the depth of a squad.
Obviously, and I think it's probably a good opportunity for them to get out there and give everyone a run first up. She needs to see what they can do out there, and like I mentioned earlier, practice matches mean nothing. They need to get it out there amongst the real stuff.
And for the Adelaide Ravens, Jamie McKinnon has come on court, replacing Heinrich at goal attack. And she was one we expected perhaps to start in round 1. Ingrid Dick uses some nice deception, disguises the feed. It's through McMahon. Phoenix take it to 33.
I think Phoenix to be boosted with the return of Ingrid Dick. She last year didn't play, so yeah, she was a valuable player in their premiership and you know, over the previous years.
A bit of depth in the mid-court, some nice versatility there. Fresh legs always an issue too at this level when it's quite torrid.
And you always hate to be the other centre with a fresh centre coming on. In one way, you're thinking, oh, I must have played all right. Another way, I'm thinking, oh, God, I have to play harder now.
Peter Jerson, we should point out for viewers, formerly Peter Kennedy, now at wing defence for the Phoenix. McMahon steps it forward, Tucker out of play. McMahon, 23 from 25, is sitting at 92%. That's a fine stat given the workload she puts in the Phoenix attack. Southby left the court with 11 from 16. The wry smile from Melissa Tump. Jogs it back to take the penalty. McKinnon. Confident shot, but it takes the ring. Jamie McKinnon is 23 goals away from netting her 400th career goal. It's a possibility.
It is.
And I think McMahon well on track. She's shot 23 and she needs 31 to bring up 2,200 career goals.
And her average number of goals per game last year was 31. So there you go.
You have been studying.
Oh, I
I'm
have.
impressed. You can come back. Oh, lovely cross-court ball. Just a bit too much on it for Tump. Would have been special had it stuck and been played on.
She's very tall, Tump, for a mid-quarter, for a wing attack. You see a lot of taller wing attacks these days.
I agree. You watch the Australian 21s coming through at squad level and some deceptively tall wing attacks. You're right.
Next to her.
And if they've got the speed and the height, that range around the circle quite useful. McMahon eases it gently to Booth. It's off the post. She regathers her own pass and nets it. 35. Plays 25. The Phoenix have pushed it out to 10. Danger signs for the Adelaide Ravens.
Ravens, next to the wing defence now.
Third quarter, they say, is the championship quarter. The Ravens will hope otherwise. That's the one. Jamie McKinnon rehearses the fingers. Second one does the goods. That's her first shot of the match.
Offside, free pass.
It looked nice, but she was running out of room. Judy Gardner having a romp through the circle.
Offside.
Well, it was read well by Tucker, but Ingrid Dick sitting tightly over it, holds them up. Tump checks the circle. Edwards available. Nice split, gives her a nice close shot. And she finishes for the Ravens.
Even though there's been 4 changes to the Phoenix lineup, we can see that they're just still moving the ball very nicely down the court and their timing is really good. So they're not afraid to let the ball go, and as I said, their timing's very good, so it certainly helps. Obviously, they've been doing a lot of work in practice matches and, you know, bringing the ball down the court.
Beautiful hold from Andrea Booth, and it's sided well by McMahon, who put it in with a bit of zing. Andrea Booth on the board. Oh, well read by Ali Tucker. Gardner, outlets to McKinnon. Grant looking for the double play, but it's read by Ingrid Dick. Peter Jerson doing her best, but a swisher from Edwards takes the Ravens to 28. They trail Melbourne Phoenix 36.
Well, they're still staying in touch. I mean, there's only 8 goals in it now. It was 7 at half-time, so they were able to pull back a couple of quick ones which Phoenix got at the start of this quarter, which is really important if they're going to have a chance in this match.
Well, there's certainly been no sign of them crumbling. When it's edged out by the Phoenix, they haul it back just so gently, so they are staying within the rhythm of the game. Still a contest on our hands. Anyone's this round 1 clash. Both teams, many would have us believe, semi-final contenders. Of course, later today, you can join Steve Rebillard and Monica Lam for the Thunderbirds Kestrels clash, that one at Etsa Park. Adelaide, no doubt, hoping to see their Thunderbirds romp in a round 1 win. And I'm sure Melbourne fans hoping otherwise, Shell.
Particularly ex-Kestrels players.
Don't start with me, girl. Edwards looking more comfortable as the game continues. Confident now in attacking the post. 20 from 27 at 74%. Oh, it just buckets out for Booth. Browning, again, loves the cross-court outload. Grant quick to pick up Tump. Nice hands. Edwards confident, goes to the post and a little keener to put it up from longer range now. They worked it in very close to start, but Edwards, I think, starting to hit her strap. Danny Grant a little slow to the centre then.
And why wasn't that pulled back then? Penalised?
I don't know, it had my whistle up, rusty as it is, hopeless as it is. At least we'll get a lot of emails from the umpires if we throw in a couple of umpiring calls. We're trying. 37-31, Phoenix lead the Ravens. 22 from Edwards. Now the gap just 5. So the Ravens, where they look like they were in trouble earlier this quarter, now starting to challenge the Melbourne Phoenix. Booth struggling a little to free herself of Tucker, who read that nicely. Long ball to Gardner. Browning comes in support. Grant holds it up like it's a water polo ball.
Lovely intercept there by Peter Jerson. There was a lot of pressure applied by McMahon, Jacobson and Ingrid across that transverse line, which enabled Jerson to come through and take a beautiful intercept.
A bit on the body from Gardner gives Ingrid Dick the penalty. Booth drops it short. Tucker goes up well.
Where she is. Next to her, yep.
Tucker, Browning and Gardner, very experienced defence end down there. They'll be looking to try and contain. Another intercept by Peter Jerson. Trying that just cross-court option, which isn't probably the safest option.
Well, I think it's been overdone a little. I mean, we commented on the first one, it would have been pretty. The second one, okay, but you just can't get away with it each time.
The good players soon pick up on that, and they'll be looking at that.
Well, it's lovely as a variation, but of course it takes longer to get there, and it really just set it up then. Good Dick, Jacobson, Booth hauls it down. Oh, McMahon stumbles. Bit of a clash there with Tucker. Booth goes to the post. That one drops short. Just not quite working the fingers hard enough, Andrea Booth. Mopped up by McMahon, her 25th shot of the match, 25 from 27. 5 minutes 48 on the clock. The Phoenix lead by 6. Third quarter, round 1. Lovely around the body feed by McKinnon.
It was a nice feed, and Mandy Edwards positioned herself really well in front there. So if a bounce is put to her in front, in the place where she's holding, it's very hard for the defender to defend that pass.
The trick is holding that space right to the last minute. As soon as you relinquish your position too soon, you're giving the defender room to tackle the ball. Peter Jerson. She's contributed since she's been on court.
She certainly has, and that was great vision by her to spot McMahon under the post by herself.
Strong workload from McMahon, who is doing a lot on field as well as in the circle. That was magical. Well, the Phoenix crowd loving the take. It was behind her. Ingrid Dick takes the centre for the Phoenix. Difference is 9. Just over 3 minutes remaining in this quarter. Throw-in will be taken by Wendy Jacobson. Crowd concentrates there, anticipating a Phoenix win, but anything can happen. This Ravens outfit has been able to close the gap time and time again in this match.
And that was just way too easy there for Andrea Booth. She was left on the base by herself.
Grant to Tump. Mandy Edwards. High ball to McKinnon. McKinnon, one of the smaller goal attacks in the league, but a strong performer.
Yeah, she was strong, and that just by that play it indicated how strong she was. The ball was placed very nicely in front, and obviously very hard for Liz Taverner to have a go at that if the ball's placed nicely in front on the drive.
Smart play down court from the Phoenix. The hold, the screen put on by Booth for McMahon. Boniello instrumental in driving it down court.
Oh,
good backup play.
I actually thought, well, this one's going out.
It was gone.
Then,
It was an ambitious feed, and McKinnon just ran out of precious centimetres on the baseline. But smart work from Edwards, who supported her. How would you rate Edwards' performance?
well, I think she's done pretty well. I mean, it's her first game, and she's, you know, the way she took that ball in, the way she's been quite, you know, aggressive out there, and she doesn't seem to look scared. She's prepared to put the goals up. So, I mean, she's certainly doing a great job for her first game out there.
Well, I think she's been unfazed by opponents with perhaps bigger reputations, and she's certainly grown as the game's gone on. Oh, again, the Ravens mopping up stray passes right, left and centre. They can't hold that one, though, as Jackie Blythe, Ravens coach, in discussion with her assistant coach. They have a deficit of 10 to address. Where will they find it? As Melissa Tump takes a piece of Ingrid Dick on her drive to the circle, and she'll be out of play for that contact. Shelley, put yourself in Jackie Blythe's position. Where can she make up the 10 goals?
Well, I haven't had much experience in coaching, but I think that they just need to tighten up a little bit more. I think they need to. I think that they're doing okay, but they're being a little bit over-ambitious and trying to let the ball go rather than taking the short option and really taking the steady option. I think once they get it into the goal circle, once, you know, they're not doing a bad job, but there's too many errors through the mid-court.
Certainly the Phoenix, quite a slick outfit down court. Very strong through the middle there. Connection is good. Jamie McKinnon. Grant on the drive. Nice hold from Mandy Edwards, who dismisses Chatfield very comfortably on that one. Difference now 9. Just seconds on the clock. Mind you, we've had several interruptions for injury, but that will be it. At three-quarter time, the Melbourne Phoenix go to the bench, leading the Ravens 45-36.
Yes, and the Ravens, as I mentioned, they're probably not getting enough ball to their shooter. They've got, and in particular, their turnovers is a major stat. They've got 23 turnovers, in particular from Tump and Grant. They just need to steady it down a little bit and work it into their shooters so they can get more opportunity. Edwards is doing a fantastic job in there.
So with 15 minutes of netball remaining, former champions Melbourne Phoenix 45 lead the Adelaide Ravens 36. It's a Ravens centre for the fourth and final quarter, and let's have a look at the changes for the Melbourne Phoenix. Liz Walton comes on at goalkeeper, replacing Bianca Chatfield, and in goals, Southby has returned to the game, but this time at goal attack, and McMahon has pushed into goal shooter. Andrea Booth having just that third quarter. For the Ravens, Venice comes on at centre, Danny Grant moving to wing defence, and Trudy Gardner leaves the court. And the Phoenix first to score. Quarter-to-quarter scores. 3 the difference at the end of the first quarter. The Phoenix had pushed it out at half-time, 33, played 24. They led by 9 at the third quarter break. And 9 the difference now. So the Ravens with it all ahead of them. And Shelley, perhaps the most impressive thing for the Phoenix so early in the season is their ability to shuffle the pack, change the lineups, and not lose any momentum.
Yeah, they're pretty confident if you can just make changes like that. I mean, they aren't that far ahead, so it's not like they're putting new players on because they're 20 goals up. I mean, Ravens are still pretty much in touch with this game, so to have the confidence to put a Liz Walton out there in goalkeeper, to bring young Andrea Booth in the third quarter, it just shows a lot of confidence in her lineup.
Well, they've introduced 5 players to the match beyond the starting 7. Obstruction against Ali Tucker, who laughs at her own expense. McMahon shares the joke. 48 plays 37.
As I said earlier, just before the game, that if they could contain or if they could limit Phoenix to 50 goals, then perhaps you know, they would have had a chance. I mean, now they're sitting at 48, so but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
So another turnover, so some scrappy play from both sides. Oh, the stretch from Jerson was a mighty effort. Walton takes a throw in. Jerson to Ingrid Dick. Boniello puts on the brakes to reoffer. Supports Jacobson. McMahon, beautiful work to Ingrid Dick, top of circle. And Danny Grant doesn't enjoy being stood out of play. Southby. Oh, well, thought about it. Will I, won't I? 52, the Phoenix, comfortable against the Ravens, 39. So they tried to nudge it out throughout the game, but the Ravens always had something there to haul it back. But the Phoenix, halfway through this final quarter, really putting in the work.
Phoenix did very well. Bodiello and Walton did very well to hold them up then, but it just shows that through patience, it will finally get through. And I think if Ravens continue to be patient, something will open up in the goal circle.
A swisher from McMahon, who's enjoying the run-in goals. 87% for the match. 34 goals to her credit. Edwards replies at the other end. Brings up her 29th. So she has been commanding in the Ravens outfit. We mentioned earlier a little question mark that McKinnon was left out of the starting 7, but Mandy Edwards apparently in brilliant form in Adelaide State League, forced her way into the lineup and has commanded her position, 29 of the Ravens total.
She's holding the space very well, and the ball is being placed very nicely into the space. So, yeah, she's certainly doing a good job out there. You'd think that she'd been out there more than once.
She doesn't look ruffled, but I have a theory. I think first time in, you have no fear. Second time, they know who you are. They're looking for you.
Yeah, I do believe in that as well.
Phoenix, a sense of urgency. Want to go on with the job. Walton takes a throw, and it's run down by McKinnon. Tenacious effort from the Ravens' goal attack. Edwards hauls it in. Nice stretch from the youngster. And through the intimidation, she discards, I think, a Band-Aid off the finger. Walks herself back after putting up her 30th. Southby, Jacobson, finds McMahon, who's looking very comfortable. Mark of a good player to make it appear easy. They throw it away, though, and Tucker will take the throw-in.
Just a little bit of touch required on that. Phoenix's timing is just brilliant at the moment.
And they're picking up all the scraps. That sticks for Southby. And the goal drops. Brings up number 55 for the Melbourne Phoenix. They've pushed the lead out to 13. Just under 6 minutes remaining in this match. Venice. Ingrid Dick waving the arms around. McKinnon comes nicely out of the fingers. She's now got a better touch. Looked a little nervous on the shot when she came on, replacing Heinrich. Tucker with a good stretch. I don't know how McMahon came up with that. Tump. Again, not looking down court, floats it parallel. You're asking for the intercept. Southby holds it up.
You certainly are, and like that's Peter Jerson's 5th intercept for the game, and she's only come on at half-time. So, I mean, she's been a great impact to the game, made a huge impact.
Too much speed and too much experience to sit back off a cross-court pass. Good pressure from the Phoenix forward line, but they can't convert. Southby walks away in disgust. Grant, quick ball onto Tump. It's just the connection they need. And I think that's where they're possibly struggling, the transition across that transverse line, Shell.
Yes, definitely. I think they're getting a little bit bottled up, and they need to do something. They need to change one, perhaps even positional swaps with the centre wing attack coming down court.
Mopped up by Jacobson, the Phoenix. Well, that was all for nothing. Came after the whistle had gone. It was always going to be a Phoenix ball. Now we're back in business. Southby drags it in, steadies. Brings up her 17th. Well, the Phoenix hunting to get past the 60-goal mark. It'll be a nice total for round one. They look like they've secured first points of the season.
That's it.
They also know they've got the game won now, but they're not giving in. They want to push this to try and, you know, finish the game off. And I think that's important to do this, even though you probably look like winning a game. Finishing off is important.
Well, I guess you need to get into the habit of finishing a game, because another match, it will be crucial how the last 4 minutes are spent. Sure, that's going to be stressed to any of these teams. McMahon applauds her side. 57 the Phoenix have hit. They lead the Ravens 44. In a match we expected to go to the more experienced Melbourne outfit, although Ravens has shown signs of things to come. Some experience in the side this year in Browning and Venice, and I think the possibility of greater things.
Yeah, definitely. They have shown some great signs, particularly in the first half. They've kept, you know, right at Phoenix. It will just take a few more games perhaps to get into it with the players that have come back and getting used to playing with each other again, getting into a lineup that they're comfortable with, and then working with that lineup.
Well, to keep things in perspective, the last time these two teams met was round 9, 2001. The Phoenix taking that match 73-47, and that's a far wider margin than what we're looking at the moment. So I think a promising start from the Ravens, and the threat that they could well push their way up the ladder in 2002. McKinnon quick to play it on. Edwards picks up the little drop from Tump and makes good. 31 for Edwards. The Ravens hit 45. They trail by 13. Less than 2 minutes on the clock. Tump drives Venice to the top. McKinnon, confident to the post. Doesn't drop. Boniello cleans up the rebound quickly to Southby. Jerson. Southby to Jacobson. McMahon holds up the timing. Nice stretch by Ali Tucker. Grant. Tump. Venice. Nice options in the circle. The baseline cut from Edwards. Nice hold close to the ball from McKinnon. 12 the difference. Good Dick. Oh, quick ball. Good vision from Southby to pick up McMahon on the base. She steadies. And a fine shot from the Australian shooter. Edwards looking comfortable.
There's a nice bullet pass there by Tump into Edwards. It's good to see that Ravens have kept at it, and it's only sitting at 12 goals. It would be hate to see them lose by 20 goals. In considering they did have a pretty good first half and they were in contention for the win, but it's disappointing when you finish a game off really badly and end up blowing it out by over 20 goals.
Contact goes against Ali Tucker. Grant pressures the penalty, but a 2-on-1, too much for them. And the Phoenix make them pay. They've hit 60. Melbourne Phoenix taking this round one contest. But both teams putting themselves forward as threats as McKinnon rushes a penalty that will be retaken now with both players out. She goes to the post. Oh, it just won't fall for her. Leaves the Ravens on 47. And that wraps up our first match of the season. The Melbourne Phoenix 60 take the Adelaide Ravens 47. And just looking back across the match statistics, penalties favouring the Phoenix, a little heavier against the Adelaide Ravens, 14 more against them. Rebounds, they were strong though. They out-jumped the Phoenix 12-6. Turnovers not too much in it, but the area of intercepts remained a concern all match. The Phoenix superior in that area. And attempts tells the tale. The Melbourne Phoenix able to have 18 more opportunities at goal, and that's pretty well reflected in the scoreline. Melbourne Phoenix taking the match 60-47, and Shelley O'Donnell is courtside with one of the Melbourne captains, a very happy Liz Boniello.
Thanks, Anne, and a very happy Liz Boniello. Great start to the season, getting a win on the board, and 1 from 1 in the new name, Boniello.
I know. It was great for Phoenix to have a win tonight, and I suppose get the nerves out of the system. It's been such a long pre-season, and to get out and have a run was fantastic, and to have a win was even better. Playing with Boniello on my back is a new thing. I think it held me back a little bit tonight. It certainly wasn't my best game, but yeah, it's an honour to play with my husband's name on my back.
No, I thought you did really well, Liz, and it was a consistent performance by the whole team, and you're able to just put so many different changes on the court. I mean, that just shows confidence in a team.
It certainly does. I mean, that's what we've been saying all pre-season. Lisa was confident in the depth that we had within the team, and Andrea Booth joined us from the AIS for a quarter, and Fiona Doran took the court and did a great job, and Peter Jerson, of course, with the Kestrel's background, is now with us, and she did a fantastic, played very, very well for the second half as well.
Well, congratulations. Good luck for the rest of the season. Liz Boniello.
Thanks, Shelley.
A very happy Liz Boniello, and the Melbourne Phoenix take the first points of 2002. Always a good feeling. I hope you enjoyed that match. Don't forget, later today you can join Steve Rebillard and Monica Lam for the Thunderbirds Kestrels clash. That match at 5 p.m. Next week, round 2 and another 2 great clashes. At 11 a.m, Monica Lam joins me for the Adelaide derby, the Ravens up against the Thunderbirds. And then at 5 p.m, join Steve Rebillard and Vicky Wilson as they bring you the action from Perth. The Perth Orioles at home to the Queensland Firebirds. And of course, you can always drop by our website, abc.net.au/netball for the latest on the Commonwealth Bank Trophy. Well, I hope you enjoyed our opening match. On behalf of the crew and Shelley O'Donnell, thanks for joining us. I'm Anne Sargent, and I look forward to your company again soon. Bye for now.